So out of those, who would have been your toughest competitor?
Out of those,
Or it may not be out of those, but you know, I know back in the late 80s, early 90s, we had some mega battles with Stuart Clark.
who, sorry?
Don't be silly.
Yeah, look, that's all, you know, that's all by the by. I've had some battles. Unfortunately, when you stick your head above the parapet, you have battles every week. But I think once Richard's resolve in if his timing is on that day, and I don't think I've seen anybody with a better mental attitude to continually breaking targets than him. If you were involved in a tight situation and he was right on, you know that you were in a fierce battle there. I see chinks of light in one or two others, but look, it's all about who it is on the day, where you are, what their timing's like.
Yeah,
you know, sport is a massive leveler. You know, if you were a cricketer, you could go out and score a double 100 at Lords, and the following day get bowled out in a club match playing at Lords. It is such a great leveler. None of us are that good that we're invincible, and you know, none of us are professional enough that our technique won't let us down. So, you know, I think you can only speak from experience. I had some big battles with Stuart Clark over the years, as AJ Smith. You know, you think that years ago, 1990, when we did a Clash of the Titans, there were 2,400 people turned up to watch Smithy and I shoot head-to-head 200 targets and paid to come in the ground. Now, you fast forward that to now, you don't get 300 people turn up to watch the final of the British Open or the World Championship. No,
absolutely.
So yeah, you know, that's where we are but you know, I think the pace of life and the way everything is done now, you know, you couldn't, back in those days, you waited month on month for the magazines to come out and see who'd done what and what articles were going to be written and how it was going to be portrayed and everything else. Now it's instantaneous. You know what's happened before it's happened.
And I think that, you know, there certainly weren't shoots in the week as there are now. You know, and obviously, and I know in your early career that you had to go out the window to pay for the next shoot. You know, which again leads into a question, which is a question that always asked, and people want to know about cartridges and, you know, how many cartridges do you shoot a year?
I used to shoot quite a lot. Between 15 and 20,000. And now I reckon that with my game shooting, my pigeon shooting, and all my clay shooting, it would be less than 10,000.
And you've been with Game Boy. I mean, you've been Game Boy for seems like forever.
So just I became an ambassador for Kent Cartridge and Arthur Phillips in 1984.
Wow.
And we used to shoot the Kent Champion.
Yeah, Kent Champion. So that's only just down the road from me. So
absolutely. And then, so I was shooting Kent Champions since 1984, and we had a tremendous amount of success with them right the way through World and European Championships. You know, right the way through to Kent being bought out by Game Ball, and then the Kent Champion became the white gold.
Oh, okay. Is that where the white gold came from?
That's where it came from. So I have effectively shot the same cartridge since 1984. In fact, about 1982. But I'm a massive believer in, if you're going to promote a brand, you've got to be a big believer in that brand. And there's no point in promoting something just for the financial gain. And all of my products that I promote, all of them to a T, I back 100%, because there is no point in doing it if you don't back that product 100%.
And you're still on the white gold now, shot size?
7.5s and 8s, 7.5s and 8s. I feel as though probably a lot of the club shoots that we go to now are just softening up a little bit to where we used to be. And I used to shoot 7.5s solely and not anything else. It takes your mind away from worrying about whether you've got the right cartridge in or whatever. Now the 8 seems to kill most things, most places. If the clays are good enough and they'll break, they're not rock hard.
I certainly think those white gold through your high tech do some damage. I've seen that sort of thing.
Yeah, so an 8, and I've also this year got another set of barrels, which are exactly the same weight and everything else, that clip straight onto the original gun. I shoot full and full, and these are modified 5.5. Basically, just for, when you go to the European Championships and Sparta set the targets and things like that, just the same as I set 1 or 2, you get a little 5-yarder or 10-yarder. And whether you like it or not, there's probably no difference at all in pattern. And I'm not a ballistics person at all. But just for peace of mind and confidence, having to shoot that with half choke as opposed to a full choke just allows you to keep your timing. Whereas you're trying to make an enforced shot if you've got something you're slightly nervous on.
And you use a few black golds, a few 6.5s.
I use a few black golds if there's something at severe range, or is a very edgy type target, or something that needs a bigger pellet. So the only reason for me for using a bigger pellet is if it's got bigger energy. Because the bigger the pellet, the more striking energy they've got. So if you've got something at 70 yards that's edge on, you could hit that with an 8 and it flatten out and drop off it, not break it. But if you hit it with a 6.5, you might only hit it with 1 pellet, but it breaks in half, it's still a kill.
Absolutely.
So you just keep a few of them in your pocket in case you get something that,
And thoughts on going to still shot? Development with cartridges, and look, it's gonna at some point probably gonna happen, isn't it?
Yeah. I think it probably will, but I don't think it'll be just yet. And I think there's a growing groundswell of opinion with regards to lead. There's been some very interesting surveys done by some European scientists on the lead scenario, financed by Vladimir Lesin, I believe, who's looking into it for the ISSF as well as FITASC and everything else. And, a lot of the Scandinavian countries that switched to steel a long time ago are now reverting back to lead because of the toxicity and the fact that they can't cut down trees because chainsaws put pellets out, injuring people, etc., etc. And I think that once these surveys come out, rather than gung ho shooting organisations putting out reports just for the sake of putting out a report to appease people, they actually want to get involved in listening to where it's at on the coalface and what's being done, where it's being done before we've all got to be unified in this. And at the end of the day, lead comes out of the ground anyway.
Yeah.
I think I totally get where people are coming from, and yes, the environment is a massive thing, but also putting a lot of steel on top of lead is not necessarily He's
No,
got to take
exactly.
the way forward.
And then not for we could get into this conversation, but obviously with steel with game shooting, and we're not going to go into that conversation now because it would just be here forever. Just going back to the question, so I'm sure we've bored the arse off most people. So people with problems with sleeping, if I make
put it off me, that's for sure.
well, we can always put it out to people who suffer with sleeping or something like that. 4 minutes of listening to you, they'd be well away. Favourite place to shoot? As far as I'm concerned, as far away from me.
Favourite place to shoot? I love shooting in South Africa.
Yeah.
I admit, I do love going over Valley Gun Club. To me, they made me an honorary member, and I love winding them up over there. They're a top bunch of blokes and girls. It's a family-run club. We have so much fun there. Cape Town's brilliant. Yeah, I would say not. It's not. Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't say it's the most challenging of venues.
No, but I've been there, and it's the whole thing. The whole, from to me, like the clubhouse is a traditional. The wives all make the teas and the cakes and all that sort of thing. We get soggy old burgers and that sort of thing. I mean, it is lovely.
Yeah, so I would say Cape Town, and then. Yeah, I mean, look. Apart from that, there's then competitive grounds.
Yeah. Do you use different colour lenses when you are shooting in the UK to when you're shooting abroad? Yes, in light is going to be obviously the main.
Obviously, the peeler glasses are based on light intake. Yeah. So the amount of light you allow into your eye is relative to how much you're squinting, how much your pupil is completely open, etc., etc. One thing I would say from shooting a lot abroad is that in certain places around the world, sunlight is a lot harsher than it is in this country.
Right.
So the refraction needed and the amount of light on your lens choice is definitely pointing down to less light into the pupil in harsher than lower light than you would be here, where you would be upping your number and allowing your eyes to take in everything. It's all relative to background. The whole object of having, I think they've got 40 different light management numbers now in the peeler range, and the whole object of having 40 different things is not the fact that you're going to need 40, but certain people see certain things differently.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been out on a Sunday and I've gone, cool, look at that through these, and you've gone, well, actually, I think it looks better through these. And there's probably been 10 numbers difference on the lens. Whether or not that's a progressive lens or however you look at it, everybody sees things differently. But the whole object of having 40 numbers is that you have the opportunity of choosing a selection of numbers that broadly cover the base of what you're doing in your shooting. So if I travel abroad and I'm in a competitive environment all the time, I need more numbers to be able to cover every option available.
Okay. What mindset do you have before you go into the stand? Do you have a checklist?
No, don't have a checklist. When I get to the stand, I look at the targets. Normally, if you're shooting first, I get to see 3 or 4 pairs because you keep saying, do you mind if I just have a look at that one once more? Whereas you're only supposed to see one, but I just let you carry on with that. And I look at the targets, work out where my kill point is, and then try and let it happen. I think that if you're starting to worry about the checklist and a go-to thing and everything else, you're detracting away from the actual point of you being on the stand, which is to break the target. Okay. So you've got to work out where your feet are going to be to where your kill point is, and then let your just natural ability to do the rest.
Okay. Always a question. People asking me why your sponsorship with Stens, you don't use them for clay shooting, but I know that you do wear them for game shooting. Why is that?
I've always been completely transparent with this. I think the Stens electronic earplug is just fantastic. Best on the market. Really, really good. I've always been transparent with it in the fact that I've always shot in what I call cans, earmuffs. And I believe that in that enclosed environment, I focus better. And I'm a big believer in, if it's not broken, don't mend it. I've always shot in them. I've always been confident in them. And it's one of the variables that I don't have to change. So when Sens approached me and said, look, try these, I was absolutely mind blown with how good they are. I mean, you can stand out on a marsh in the half light in the evening. You can hear the duck, coming before you ever thought you would be able to hear them. Hear their wings, hear widgeon calling, just absolutely incredible. It opened my eyes up. But
they ring you when you're on their way.
For me, when I'm shooting, I'm in a place of work.
Yeah.
Go out to shoot, to compete. I would never be rude to anybody, but I'm focused.
What? You're always rude to me.
Yeah, I know, but that's different. But I'm focused and I'm in a place of work. Whereas if I'm wearing the electronic earmuffs and my focus is almost to everybody because I've become accessible to everybody.
Yeah, you can hear
if I'm wearing ear protected cans,
yeah,
I actually keep myself to myself.
Okay.
So, I've always been transparent with everybody from Sens, and they know the score. And we have a great relationship, but my relationship with them is purely in the field. And the clay shooting one, I wear cans because, I'm, that's where I am. I'm at a place of work. I feel comfortable in them. I've always shot in them, and that's where I want to be.
And are they baked bean cans or are they beer cans?
Yeah, there's a bit of string goes right the way through and holds them on either side.
And I can tell you probably could get a bit of string right the way through there as well. Why does someone have to ask this? How many 100 straights have you shot? Moving on.
How many have you shot? I could tell everybody a famous story of going to Horn when you hadn't shot one. That is funny.
No.
So we get to the last stand at Horn and Jamie's on for 100 straight. And I'm sitting on some straw bales behind him thinking, this is absolutely fantastic. Jamie's going to shoot his first 100 straight. And he was breathing in and out like a bull rhino. And walks on the stand, pair killed, pair killed, pair killed, pair killed, lost and killed, cue me falling off the bales at the back. I actually came out of it with more of an injury than you. You had a certain amount of pride lost. I had a broken shoulder. The answer to your question
told me, and then you were just laughing. And so you did that to me in Portugal when I lost the World Championships of Compact. Laughed your head off because Charles Bardo beat me. So how many 100 straights? I can't remember. I mean, I don't know. How many have I?
The answer to your question is 54.
54.
But for me, the more impressive stat
is my one.
Is your one, yeah. The more impressive stat is 138 99s.
And your point?
Just telling you. That doesn't include skeet either.
I thought that was your skeet scores.
I used up all the luck at the British in 91. You should know that.
5,400 straight. That is quite, quite phenomenal, really. What else we got here? Other questions. How important is hydration with your eyesight?
No question.
I know that you, with Stay Focused as well, you drink that a lot.
Yeah, look, hydration, whether you're using Stay Focused or whether you're using a different sports drink or whatever, hydration is vital, absolutely vital for you to keep your concentration. Because to be mentally alert, you've got to be refreshed and not feeling tired at all. And the first thing dehydration does is it makes you fatigued. So you've got to be hydrated. I use Stay Focused because it's a completely, non-sugar based product, completely natural, and I can drink it and I don't get a massive sugar rush that you can do with some of the high performance energy drinks. I remember, in fact, it nearly cost me the World Championships in America. Was I went to the last day over there. I can't remember which one it was. It was the one where Damien Bergen was second. And anyway, I went there, got up in the morning. I don't eat on a shoot day, but I just obviously drink. And I drank 2 of the 32 fluid ounce Gatorades on the way to the ground to make sure I was completely hydrated. And I had such a sugar rush from it. My eyes were completely gone. And the first round I shot terribly. I had no timing. I was on like a high, and then I came off it, and I just drank water. And
I must get some of them here every Sunday then. Perfect.
So look, you've just got to manage it.
Okay. So out of all the list of world, Europeans, British Englishes, I mean, it does go on. I mean, as I say, I've been fortunate to see you win a lot of those shoots. And so out of that, as a question, what is the most memorable win that you've had and why?
I would think the 2 really.
First, no farm 3 weeks ago or something stupid like that.
No,
I don't think you won it. I don't think you won it anyway.
Maybe difficult down there. We've been shut for 6 weeks anyway, James.
I went 6 weeks ago.
Two shoots would stand out for me. First one was the World Championships in '92, Chemo Mountain, FITASC, my first World FITASC Championship. Unfortunately, my dad was dying of cancer, and he said to go. And then when we were coming back on the plane, having won it, unfortunately, I didn't get back in time to say goodbye, which was quite sad. But he wanted me to go, and I won it, so it was quite fitting.
You got to know that you won it.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So that was great. And then I would say, I'm not sure whether it was 10 or 11, 2010 or 11 at Arezzo in Italy.
That was the one that almost got to 50 degrees, wasn't it?
Yeah, where I got chauffeured round all the stands in a air-conditioned car because I was shooting with the FITASC General Committee. You must remember that shoot. Yeah,
but you always get chauffeured around everywhere. I mean, mate,
I think that is the best story I've ever heard. It must have been like a Potenbill four-wheel drive off-road because I've never walked like a pit pony to some of those stands. You could have got a vehicle there and an air-conditioned vehicle at that. It is just beyond belief. But that shoot,
that was a good shoot.
100 straight the first 2 days, and then 49, 48 to me was about as good as my shooting could ever get.
Yeah, I mean that was warm there as well. That was seriously warm.
Yeah,
Seriously warm.
yeah, that was a very memorable shoot.
Is there anything in the shooting world that you haven't achieved that you would like to? I mean, that's.
Yeah, I would say there is now, is the fact that no one's ever won not in my. I've looked through the records and I can't see it, but I mean, someone's probably going to prove me wrong. But I believe that nobody has won a world or European championship in FITASC at either compact or FITASC sporting as what is now a senior. In other words, was a veteran. So my intention over the next few years is to put that right. And it'll be a nice goal to be able to do that. Whether it'll happen or not, who knows? But I think my mindset's coming back, and I've definitely got the gun to do it now. So I'm looking forward to that challenge. Apart from that, look, I've been very lucky in what I've achieved, but you make your own luck. But you still need an element of luck. I've gone out, competed for myself, and effectively having done it for myself, it's obviously helped the country as well. And the country, off the back of it, and off the back of what it's done, has achieved so much in British, European, and world shooting. It's absolutely phenomenal, and it's put us on the map. I'm not saying that just what I've done has put us on the map, because a lot of people have achieved a lot of things and continue to do so, and it's now their time to take it on. I'm getting to an old man now, and I've almost had my time, but I'm still competitive. I still want to do it. I will still do it, and I will get that gun absolutely right. But I've really enjoyed my time at the top, although it's been a long time. And I hope that that going forward, it's not, it's not the finish. But you can never say never, and sport is a great leveler.
Who is your all-time sporting hero in any sport?
No, Jamie, it's not you. That is a big question. That is a big question. I'm going to answer that twofold. I think my all-time favourite sportsman would have to be the greatest boxer of all time, Muhammad Ali. Just to me, as an icon of his sport, his ability, his colour, the way he handled himself. Right, not everything was to everybody's liking, but he was an entertainer, and whether you like it or not, to be that sort of an entertainer with that sort of a mantle, was tremendous. I think it was tremendous, and I would have loved to have met him. And then, secondly to that, if I couldn't have done what I would have done, I would have loved to have been a professional cricketer.
Okay.
And in the second answer to that, if I was going to be a professional cricketer, there's only one that you would like to have been, and that's Ian Botham.
Yeah.
Because it was in the right era. I know Sir Ian pretty well, and I know a lot of his mates pretty well, and they played hard, and they played hard. And it was before all the times of mobile phones, and everybody got stuck in and had a drink and reporting was done as reporting should be. And, you know, for me, you weren't held to account for every single minute thing. And he was a phenomenal cricketer that played the game the right way, in the right spirit. And, yeah, to me, I would like to have been him if I had my time again. But my idol would be Muhammad Ali.
And we've gone on a long time. People must be really bored now. They've just switched off or gone to another channel by now. But one final question. So there's a question that says, I don't know, put this in. Will you ever hang up your competition gun, or will they bury you with it?
If you can dig a hole that big, I'll be seriously impressed.
Don't worry, I wasn't going to use it.
You'll need a JCB, my friend. You'll need a JCB.
Listen, it's been a lot of fun talking to you, and look, we've had a lot of laughs over the years. We've had a lot of fun, haven't we?
Yeah, look, and as I go forward, I intend to do it a lot more, to have a lot more fun. I mean, you know, people, you read certain social media things that, you know, I'm boring and dull and everything else. I think
it's all true.
I think you would contend to know that there is, when we go out on a Sunday, dullness is never an issue that comes.
No, it definitely isn't. Definitely isn't. It's always a laugh. I mean, you've only got to look on YouTube. That Night of Spoons, you know, is one
There's
of the...
been lots of those.
Exactly.
Lots of those.
And I'm sure we could probably even have another video on all the stories, because there is some funny stories. I mean,
you know, I think we should do. And I mean, what you've got to remember is that we are doing this due to the current crisis and the fact that I feel as though I want to give something back to people. Boredom must have set in by now.
Give me about 10 of you only, for starters.
Yeah. Boredom must have set in by now. And look, we just want everybody to stay safe, keep well, and you know, if watching this for an hour or so passes the time of day and helps you get through this madness that we're all in at the moment, you come out the other side, and that's all we want.
Absolutely. Well, like I said to anybody, if we've missed out any questions, I'm sorry. It's because he's gone on too long about shooting 100 straights and 99s and silly things like that. So, George, listen, we always have a great laugh, and it's been a pleasure talking to you. I've learned a few things. Not a lot, but just, you know.
Little you can learn.
No, it's been fun.
I know I've enjoyed it, and look, I know for a fact that we haven't done a quarter of the questions. So if when people have seen this, they enjoy it enough, if the responses are good enough, we'll do it again.
No, absolutely.
Lots of different things we can talk about.
Oh yeah, no question, absolutely.
I'll get somebody like Rob Key on to do it properly next time.
All right, well, listen, let's wrap it up. Good to speak to you. Love to Kate. Stay well.
Yeah.
And we'll hope to see you soon.
Yeah, can't wait.
Yeah. See you later.
Bye.